strangely, the ultimate goal of it was to establish contact with intelligences beyond the phenomena. And when that contact was established, as you can see in these drawings that were made by the commander of the Operation Saucer, when that happened, the close encounter with an alien happened. The Operation Saucer allegedly was shut down by the government. No way. We always pursued that. We wanted a better explanation of that. And we found at some point that it continued much more secret after January 1978 under control of U.S. military and CIA in the jungles of Brazil. Yes, it is a fact. In these drawings, you can see how Wirangê Holanda had his sighting. He once was, by late December 1977, by the Amazon banks, when he saw a huge object, a cylinder-like object, just come close to the ground on the other side of the river. And he saw a creature coming out of that giant 300 feet cylinder-like object and came close to him. They looked at each other's eyes and there were no communication, no verbal and not communication telepathically, only exchange of eye contact. He continued to investigate the phenomena after he was taken away from the operation, supposedly because it was shut down and was never, and had other content as well. Now, as we move forward, we have the second biggest case in Brazil to support our campaign to ask the government to come clear about UFOs. And this was a major UFO flap, a major UFO wave that we have when 21 spherical objects, each one of them 300 feet in diameter. 300 feet is like a block, a city block, were pursued and also pursued 7 jet fighters, Mirage and FN5 in Rio de Janeiro and São Paulo. 21 objects detected by radars. 7 jets scrambled to pursue them. We have high-rank officers witnessing the objects, information. We had a minister that, this is why this is called the official Brazilian UFO night, a minister that goes on TV networks the other day after it happened to admit the whole thing to the nation. And he promised that he would give us, Brazilians, in 30 days, a full report of what happened on that night. And this report was never released until 2009, when we have the disclosure process in Brazil. And just recently, I was able to interview that man who used to be a minister of defense in Brazil, Brigadier Sócrates Monteiro, who added a few more details of what happened in that particular night. And that was absolutely astounding. Now, among the piles of paper that we are given by the Brazilian Air Force Command in this disclosure process, we happen to come across one document, 8-page document, that is a great confirmation of everything that happened on that particular night when, I repeat, 21 UFOs 300 feet in diameter jammed all areas of Rio, São Paulo, Brasília, Belo Horizonte, Goiânia, the major cities in Brazil. And in part 3 of the document, it reads, it is the conclusion of this command, the Brazilian Air Force Command, that the observed objects were solid and under control by some sort of intelligence because of their capacity of pursuing the formation of jets. That is a great confirmation of the intelligent nature of the objects observed in that particular night. It has been disclosed along with many other papers. And of course, one of the major cases that we have in Brazil, and I believe one of the major cases involving aliens in the world, is the Varginha case that happened in the state of Minas Gerais in Brazil on January 20, 1996. This case is composed of, first, the witness of a UFO crashing the night before that on January 19th. It crashed. By the other morning, a number between 5 and 7 extraterrestrial biological entities were reported by civilians to the authorities. They could be seen in some parts of the city of Virginia. Could be seen by, as of now, about 140, 150 first-hand eyewitnesses who saw not only the creatures, but also the crash of the UFO, the capture of at least 2 creatures by the Army forces and the fire department personnel of that particular city. And unfortunately, one of the men involved in the capture of the creatures, Private Marco Elixiresi, only 23 years at that moment, a gentleman whose wife was at home pregnant of twins, who never met the father. He died only 3 weeks after, about 3 weeks after, he captured the second creature with his bare hands with no protection whatsoever. He had a complete shutdown in his immune system. And the Brazilian army is trying until now to keep this under wraps. Doesn't matter what we do, the responses from the army are very different from the Brazilian Air Force. Air Force is coming forward. Navy is not, Army is not. And we want to reverse it. We want to change it. We want to make all of the forces to come forward and to release the information that is for all of us to know. It is our right and we want them. Thank you. Now, after the Brazilian army was heavily pressured, a significant document was finally released. And this is the military police inquiry about the Virginia case. But the biggest or the most important information about the case at all involved in this almost 400 pages document were deleted. We still haven't been able to get access to that, but we will. We will. We won't give up. We'll like the bond. We'll keep the bond. Well, folks, it is really a pleasure that this is going on because it is history. As this is history, disclosure all over the world is history. It's going on as more and more countries open their files, recognize how serious this matter is. And in Brazil, we are very glad that we had these 4,000 pages coming up. Most of it are useless, are information that we already had, or something that is not exactly what we wanted to know. But the gesture of goodwill from our authorities in releasing these thousands of pages is what counts, because it means that we are being recognized about what we do. We are being taken seriously, and our pledge is actually being acknowledged and appreciated by our authority. This will go on. Oh, phase 3 will go on, and I believe that now, with the support of so many entities all over the world, like now the Nation of Islam here in the United States, it will make our journey easier. So this is why I thank you very much. Now, the ultimate question is covered up over? Not at all. What has been released in Brazil and in other countries is only a small tip of a very big iceberg. So the cover-up is not over. But our energy to keep on pressuring is also not over. We want every piece of that big iceberg that is underneath the water. And we'll go on that. Now, we have several countries that came forward releasing their files. The authorities make public admissions. We have France release 100,000 pages. Spain, Italy, Canada, Uruguay, who has a committee for UFO researchers since the 70s. Chile, England, Peru, Norway. Come on, Norway. Norway doesn't have any tradition in UFO disclosure or UFO cover-up, and yet it made a disclosure last year. And by November, we had New Zealand, the Vatican, doing all sorts of declarations, like the one made by Jesuit José Gabriel Funes, the official astronomer of the Vatican, who said, of course, aliens exist, and they are our brothers. And plus, not recognizing the existence of other advanced civilization in space is underestimating the creation of God. Now, what about United States? When will United States come clear about UFOs? We don't know. But this is definitely a very strong step you are doing. Whatever we do here is history, and whatever steps count. Now, in Brazil, the declassification is for the entire society, not for us UFO researchers. Whatever is found, whatever is given, was sent for everybody to see at the National Archives. And this is our contribution to this field. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ademar. Now, we want to present you our Italian friends, Pier Giorgio Caria, who investigated a mass contact, a real mass contact, more than 100 people, including politicians, journalists, scientists, academics, were involved with extraterrestrials between 1956 and 78 in Italy. And also, my friend Antonio Ursi, who you are going to be delighted with the images he has been able to get from his own house. It seems that they come to see him, and I think they are the best in history and in the world. Please.
Gracias. Just a moment, please. Di audio? C'è il microfono.
Hazlo rápido,
Dime.
estamos muy retrasados.
Ok? Non lo vedo in pantalla? Ok, perfetto. Vorrei ringraziare tutti voi
I would like to thank all of you
perché sono stato accolto io, Antonio e Simona con vero spirito di amore e fratellanza da tutti voi.
because myself, Antonio, and Simona were welcome in the true spirit of brotherhood by all of you.
Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Il sogno di tutti i popoli
The dream of every people
in the world
around the world
è quello di avere delle guide sagge e piene d'amore.
is to have wise and loving guides in this life.
E io ho potuto conoscere il ministro Farrakhan. Thank you, Minister. Thank you. E questo mi fa credere
Okay. I've had the pleasure and the honor to meet Minister Farrakhan,
che il sogno dei popoli può essere realtà.
and this led me to believe that every people dream can become reality.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Il caso amicizia è un caso di contatto massivo
The friendship case has become a massive case, particularly.
Ha coperto la durata di 30 anni in Italia,
It lasts 30 years in Italy,
dagli anni 50, dai primi anni 50 fino alla fine degli anni 70.
from the beginning of the 50s till the end of the 70s.
E questo caso è rimasto segreto per oltre 40 anni,
And this case in particular was covered up for almost 40
segreto,
okay, secretive for almost 40 years.
perché nessuna delle persone, ed erano oltre 100,
Okay, because none of the person, and there were almost 100 of them,
non dissero a nessuno la straordinaria esperienza che stavano vivendo.
never told to anybody about their experiences.
Questo fatto si è potuto conoscere nel 2007 grazie a uno scienziato italiano
This fact was finally known in 2007 thanks to an Italian scientist,
il professor Stefano Breccia,
Professor Stefano Breccia,
perché ricevette dal capo di questo gruppo
because he received from the head of this group
il compito di diffondere, prima che lui morisse, questa straordinaria esperienza.
the assignment
started
to
from an
let everybody know about the facts,
E queste sono le sue parole.
and these are
by
his own words.
Bruno Sammachichia. He'd been thinking about writing down his experiences and then asked me to be the one to do it. And so I was at his house for a month to record his stories. Then I put everything together. It all started from an idea by Bruno Sammachichia. He'd been thinking about writing down his experiences and then asked me to be the one to do it. And so I was at his house.
L'idea del professor Breccia
The idea of Professor Breccia
e di Bruno Samaciccia
and of Bruno Samaciccia,
era che altre persone venissero allo scoperto
it was that other people will come forward
e facessero conoscere questa straordinaria esperienza di contatto con esseri extraterrestri.
and will let everybody know about these contacts that happen with extraterrestrial beings.
La prima persona che ha risposto a questa chiamata
The first person that respond to this call
è questo signore che ha oltre 90 anni,
is this person, a 90 years old man.
si chiama Gaspare De Lama,
His name is Gaspare De Lama,
e queste sono le sue parole.
and these are his own words.
E non ha avuto
He had no hesitation about exposing himself, and I admired him for that.
e quindi il fatto di espormi e di dire la mia
And so
esperienza
coming out and talking about my experience becomes easy for me because it gives me great joy.
è la gioia di poter dire a chi ricerca
The joy of being able to tell people something that can help them understand more, or make their doubts grow or disappear, or strengthen their belief.
In questa esperienza sono accaduti molti fenomeni straordinari. In questa esperienza sono accaduti molti fenomeni straordinari.
During this experience, many extraordinary events happen.
Teleportazioni,
Teledeportation,
fenomeni telepatici
telepathic phenomena,
e soprattutto avvistamenti di oggetti volanti non identificati.
okay, and sighting of UFO.
Cioè gli esseri parlavano ai terrestri,
So these extraterrestrial beings were speaking to
gli
humans.
dicevano il giorno e l'ora,
They were telling them about a time and a date.
loro si trovavano nel posto con la telecamera e la macchina fotografica con la cinepresa, per essere esatti,
And they will be at that location with their video recorder, video camera, and cameras.
e quindi arrivavano i dischi volanti
Okay, the UFO or flying object were arriving,
e loro potevano fotografarli e filmarli.
and they could film them and take picture of them.
Questi esseri si presentarono come un popolo dello spazio formato da vari popoli di diversi pianeti.
Okay, these people, beings, present themselves as people coming from space and representative of different space and planets.
L'esperienza fu chiamata da tutti amicizia.
The experience was then called friendship experience.
Perché l'amore che emanavano questi esseri istintivamente fece adottare dagli umani questo nome.
Okay, because of the loving behavior and feeling that was coming from this extraterrestrial being, led the human being to rename this experience the friendship experience.
E i terrestri diedero a questo popolo il nome di W.F.P.4.
Okay.
Al gruppo di extraterrestri.
The humans gave the name of W.F.P.4 to this group of extraterrestrial.
W come viva, 56 come l'anno in cui iniziò questa esperienza.
Okay. W meant viva, which means hooray, and 56 is the year in which this experience took place.
Nell'esperienza furono coinvolti tutti i livelli della società.
Okay. In the experience, every level of society was involved in.
Scienziati, militari,
Scientists, military,
persone comuni
normal, regular
e
citizens,
persino dei premi Nobel.
and even Nobel Prize winners.
E tutte queste persone in tutti questi anni non hanno mai parlato di questa incredibile esperienza.
And all these people, throughout all the years that have been passed, never talk about it, this experience.
Solo adesso la verità è venuta alla luce.
Only recently the truth came to light.
Successivamente si sono aggiunte altre persone che hanno parlato, umani,
Later on, other people spoke up about this experience.
Mirella, la moglie di Gaspare De Lama,
Mirella, the wife of Gaspare De Lama,
e un professore di Roma di nome Paolo Di Girolamo.
and the professor from Rome, Mr. Paolo Di Girolamo.
E tutti hanno confermato i fatti così come il professor Breccia li aveva descritti nel suo libro.
And all of them confirmed the facts as were described by Stefano Breccia in his book.
Ai fenomeni si aggiunsero anche delle esperienze incredibili come visite alle basi extraterrestri da parte degli umani.
To these special phenomenons, there were also some experience that human being took place in
Nelle basi extraterrestri.
in the extraterrestrial